Hey guys, Rachel and Jason with REI Blueprint.
Hey everybody.
We get a lot of questions and we thought we really need to start doing some videos about this and get this out to as many people as we can reach. And one of the most common questions that we receive is, I'm really interested in real estate and I've always been interested in real estate, but I have no idea how to get started. And I think there's not one answer to that, right?
Yeah,
there's
no.
multiple. So what do you tell somebody that approaches you?
Well, Rachel, I would tell them, seriously, I would tell them, first thing that you need to decide is, what kind of strategy are you going to go after, right? Do you want to be a wholesaler? Do you want to be a rehabber? Do you want to do apartment buildings? Do you want to, and all of those different strategies have different skill levels, right?
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Well, and I think that your very first step is to evaluate yourself a little bit,
Absolutely,
right? Because
yeah.
I think certain strategies work for certain people. And so I think I have a calendar exercise that I start all of our coaching students out with is how much time do you actually have to invest to this real estate investing business? Is it 7 hours a week or do you have 20 hours a week? Because the strategy that the direction I'd point you in is very different depending on the availability of your time,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely. You wouldn't necessarily do short sales having 2 hours a week, right?
Absolutely.
It's more work.
Yes.
I think the second thing that you need to kind of determine is your personal resources, right? Some of you have $2,000 or $3,000 a month that you could,
Yes.
push towards your marketing. Some of you have $200 or $300 a month that you could push towards your marketing. Rachel and I were flat wiped out broke when we started in real estate investing. So don't let that discourage you, but understand what your budget is. You want to build a business that earns you $500,000 in your first 12 months. You may need to invest a little bit more in that than if your goals aren't quite as high, right?
Right.
So what do your finances look like? What can you realistically contribute? And I guess how serious you are about it too, right? How serious are
What's
you
your
if you're only
commitment
giving
level? Are you
$50
interested?
a month? Yeah.
Are you interested or are you committed? Because
Absolutely.
there's a huge difference.
Yep.
Being interested in something, you kind of spend a lot of time. You're going to Saturday workshops. You're at your RIA meetings. Being committed,
Flying over.
being committed, there's no other option, right? Like, I am committed. This is something that I have to accomplish, and you go all in for that. And so I think once you determine your time investment, once you determine what your resources are from a financial standpoint, now you really need to think about what's the type of homeowner that I'm comfortable encountering. I have some people who do probate strategies who start off with that and they become very uncomfortable with the conversations that are had when someone's just lost a loved one and they've inherited a property. And some of that through coaching, I'm telling you, you've got to push through some of that, right?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we're helping them so much. And others just have this huge desire to serve and to help other people who are in bad situations, and they're a phenomenal fit for a pre-foreclosure type of strategy,
Yep,
And so I think it's
have to-
knowing yourself,
You have
right?
to find something that's like close to your heart, I think. Something
Yes.
that pulls you in that direction. We have a training where we teach 4 or 5 different modules of real estate investing, 4 or 5 different strategies. And what we always tell everybody is don't get so overwhelmed with understanding all 5 strategies. Listen to the whole thing and then decide on maybe 1 or 2 that you're kind of drawn
Right.
towards, that you're kind of called to.
Yes, and I think also one tip that I want to leave you guys with before we wrap this is that, you had kind of mentioned, do you want to rehab? Do you want to get in apartment complexes? And all of that is great, but I really want you to set yourself up to win, and I want you to get the basic real estate transaction, a couple of those under your belt. There are 150, 200 steps to a regular plain Jane real estate transaction. And if you go getting so high level and you don't have the proper guidance or the proper coaching for
Yep.
something like that, that's where you hear people say, oh, well, that real estate investing didn't work. It works, absolutely, but you have to work it in the appropriate way, okay? So I really want to encourage you to, I don't want to say start small because we go big all the time,
Yep.
right? But there's a process to educating yourself so you are able to level up and go big once you've learned the basic fundamentals of the
Absolutely,
strategy, right?
absolutely.
Yep.
If you haven't been to one of our boot camps, click the link below. We have one coming up in St. Louis in July and one in August. Super inexpensive, 3 full days of nothing but knowledge, nothing but strategies,
Giving you
nothing but
everything we've
skills.
got. Yep.
Everything you need to make this business work. We'd love to see you there.
Have
See
a
you
great
soon.
night.
Bye-bye.